What's up, people? I'm still coughing a little bit, but it's way less than it was. So we just gonna roll with it. Hope you had a great weekend. It's lovely Tuesday and time for the craziest relationship advice show on these internets. We have, oh, where did I put it? Here it is. We have 26 advice questions today. So those of you who wrote in, let me remind you to not only listen to what I have to say, check in the chat stream and see what their comments are. And sometimes they have ideas for books or other resources, or they live in the city that you live in and they know some agencies or something like that that can give you a little extra support. So keep that in mind as we roll through the show. It's kind of a group effort here. You'll see, like, as you go through, a lot of Leandra's here. A lot of the people are they're regulars, and so the people who write in reference the squad. That's what they call themselves, and they're actively seeking their advice. So we come together, and it's kind of it's a whole, everybody putting their 2 cents in, and somehow we make it work. So here we go. 26 questions today. For those of you who keep track, please let the other people know as they come into the room. Question number 1. This is a young lady in the 28 to 34 age group from Philadelphia. Summary of issues. Should I end a 2-month situationship via text? I kind of feel guilty about it. I know the adult thing is to end it in person. I also know how disrespectful it is because my own ex-fiance ended things over a text. What? An engagement isn't a 2-month relationship, though. I just feel this guy is so manipulative. He shifts blames on me every time I bring up concerns, and my emotions end up being about him. I'm worried about seeing him face to face and being roped back in. Either way I do it, I don't even know what to say to him. I've already told him I dislike how he turns my concerns onto his feelings and he blaming me. I'm thinking of telling him we are incompatible and just moving on. Would that be okay? Yeah, that's perfect. You just say, after you want to be a little more specific. So you want to say, after 2 months of dating you, I have come to the conclusion that we are not compatible. It's been lovely. Thank you for the 2 months. Good time. Bye-bye. And then you make sure you block him. Don't be like these other girls leaving the avenue open for him to call you and, to continue to bug you, make you block him on all your social media accounts. Anyone he was friends with you, block his email, block him on your phone, block him on text. The best way to do that is not from the phone, but to go into your carrier's website and block everything. Okay. Everything. Oh, Anna's here. Hey. Yeah. I'm really like, it's a situationship. I mean, for the dude that you were engaged to send you a text to break up the engagement, that was so chicken. That's just disgusting behavior for somebody who's headed towards marriage. However, in a situationship, especially when it's only been this short period of time, you're not committed to him. You don't owe him anything. So just tell him it's not working out and just go on. See, some people saying just go and even change your number. But even though, if that he starts calling you from random numbers and you kind of want to pick up random calls, see, I never do that. If it don't pop up with somebody's name or business name, I don't answer the phone. It goes immediately to my Google voicemail. And then you could just leave a message. And then I might, if I feel like it, on some day when I'm absolutely totally bored, call you. But that hasn't ever happened yet. So, but I do leave myself that room just in case. But I don't answer unknown calls. A lot of women, though, I know, they just so curious. They can't stand it. Even when somebody calls them and hangs up, they used to do that star 69 thing or whatever it was so they could call the person back. Well, who is this? I don't give a shit who it was. It's just one less person for me to be bothered about. So that kind of stuff doesn't bother me. I don't care. And like I said, if I don't recognize the number, I'm not picking it up. And that's just the way it is. So let's move on. Question number 2. This is a young lady in the 22 to 27 age group. She defines herself as Caucasian and she's from Tucson, Arizona. Summary of issue. How do I get a man I'm seeing to let me pay on dates? I've been seeing a 25-year-old guy, I'm 22, for a couple of weeks, and the times we go out, he always gets the tab and pays for everything. This is nice, and I'm very appreciative, but is it wrong that I just want to be able to pay too? What's a good way to bring it up, or should I continue letting him pay for everything? Last time I tried, he insisted that he'd pay and even bought something for the other couple we went on a double date with. In 3 dates out of sight of hanging at his place, he spent probably over $100 on me already. Is it normal to feel kind of guilty? I admit I'm not used to having men pay for me. Even exes barely did. So maybe that's why I feel this way. Yeah, that is why you feel this way. And plus, you weren't raised right. First of all, he's doing what a man should do if he likes you. You dated some dust buckets. You dated some men that were trifling. You dated some men that don't know how to show a woman appreciation. I bet you were sleeping with them though, huh? If they didn't want to buy you nothing or treat you any kind of way like you were a nice person and their lady, did they? And yet you stayed with them. I don't understand how you young girls think. This young man was raised right and proper. I mean, I don't know about paying for the other couple and all this kind of stuff, but maybe he's just a generous kind of guy and he's got it like that. You know, how much a man spends is directly related to his income, I found. So guys making $200,000, $300,000 a year, they don't mind doing whatever. I mean, even $150,000, they don't care. They're not tripping. It's these little dudes making $40,000 that be pinching every penny and want to make sure you pay half and all this kind of stuff here. When men have the money, they don't mind spending it. When they don't, they hoard. So just stop dating broke busters and then you won't have this problem. My goodness. Yeah, take a lesson from Leandra. No, don't take a lesson from Leandra. But I'm just saying, you have to learn how to allow a man to show you that you're special and important to him. He's going to get you gifts. He's going to get you flowers. He's going to take you out. And he's not going to want you to pay. When dudes start saying they want you to pay, really what you should do is break up with them. I wouldn't see him. Yeah, Leandra. Don't be like Leandra. But do let the guy treat you nicely, okay? Now, if you want to feel like you're reciprocating, the standard thing to do when you have a man like this is to invite him over for a home-cooked meal. He doesn't want you to come out of pocket for any cash, but he would appreciate you taking the time and making the effort to cook something for him. If you can't cook, have your mother cook it or somebody cook it for you, and then you just splash flour on your face like they did in that movie, and you just act like she cooked it. But, do something like that, okay? But don't think you're going to be coming out of pocket with him in public. He's not going to accept that, and he'll think you're stupid and something's wrong with you. Stop asking him and do what I said. And even if you I don't know, get him a present for his desk at work, like a plan or something. I mean, you could do little things like that that'll have him on your mind, but he does not want you to pay on a date. That's his role, and he understands the assignment. So leave him alone. Question number 3. This is a male in the 28 to 34 age group from Nottingham in the UK. Summary of issue. I don't want to be around my brother's girlfriend because she constantly records everything for TikTok and also has a personality that I just don't like and is ruining my relationship with my brother. Okay. Summary is normally like a couple of words, not a whole paragraph from my brother. Okay, so here he says, my brother's dating this girl. Apparently they're in love, and I'm happy for him, but personally I find her annoying, and I don't like being around her. She's extremely loud, and she's some sort of TikTok influencer and records everything to turn into a TikTok. At Thanksgiving, she took out her phone and was recording, so I put my hand over my face and said, no recording, please. And instead of being respectful, she just posted that with my boyfriend's older brother doesn't like social media, LOL. The only reason that Christmas was all right because she went to visit her family, and so he came alone. I haven't seen him since Christmas, even though we live just 5 miles apart. I used to spend several evenings per week at my place or his. This is something that I take seriously. I don't want my face online, and the only people that I'm okay taking photos or videos of me are my parents or grandparents because I know that it's just for them and they never show anyone. This is not the first time that she has done this, and I feel like I don't really have any options. If I respond appropriately and tell her to F off, she does that. I'm going to be posting online and made it look like a crazy person. If she agrees, I don't trust her, and I'm not going to have a nice time with my family if I'm sure whenever her phone is out. And I'm not going to tell her that she can't bring her phone into my house or a restaurant or wherever else, because that's insane and not my place. Yes, you can do that, but we'll get to that in a minute. The effective result of this is that I can't hang out with my brother because I cannot go to his house and I cannot invite him over or to a restaurant, bar, etc., because I feel very awkward saying that I want him to come, but his girlfriend that he lives with is not welcome. You so not like me. He texted me today and said that he doesn't know what he did to make me angry at him, because he knows I had people over in quite a large party for my best friend's birthday last night and didn't invite him. And I've been making excuses not to hang out with him for the last couple of months. That makes me want to cry because I love my brother a lot, but I don't. Wait a minute. This is 2 sheets. Hold on. I don't know what to say. It's pointless for me to say exactly what I've said here because it won't do anything. He's not going to mess up his relationship for me, and I wouldn't want him to by excluding his girlfriend. All that he's going to say is that he will talk to her and that I should give her another chance. But honestly, I don't want to give her another chance because, well, I just don't. What do you think is the best approach? I think you should be honest with your brother. You can't keep dodging the issue and running like a fucking coward. Okay, your brother notices. So you need to man up and tell him, look, dude, I love you to death. I really miss you and being around you, but I can't stand your girlfriend. I don't want my pictures on the internet. And every time she's around, she wants, without even asking anybody's permission, which is illegal because we're not in a public place, we're in a private residence. She has no right to take any pictures of me. She has no right to take any pictures of mom, grandpa, dad, nobody. So the only way that I would be around you is if I confiscate her phone at the door, or you don't bring her. Those are your 2 options. So which one do you think you want to do? And you put it on him, because see, what I'm seeing here is you making a lot of assumptions. Well, he's just going to say this and he's just going to say that. You don't know what he's going to say, because it's got to be a reality check. I mean, for all you know, he's feeling the same way, but he doesn't want to say anything. So, you need to be honest. You need to man up and tell him, brother, I love you, but I can't stand that broad that you messing around with. I don't want to be around her at all. And I know if I invite you, that you're going to drag her ass with you. And I'm not trying to be bothered. So if you can figure out how to get away from her and come over and visit me just by yourself, we can hang out just the 2 of us, that'd be great. I'd love to have you. But I'm not going to do anything where I have to look at her. Okay? Not at my house. And if she's at your house, I'm not going there either. So I don't know what to tell you. And you put it on him and let him make a decision. Because he needs to see that what she is doing is just ridiculous. What you might also want to do, I mean, I don't know what kind of situation you have. Like some jobs, they have these legal consulting things where, it's included as a benefit. And you can ask them what the legalities are of something like that and have them put it in a letter. And then you can give it to her and say, this is why I don't want to be around you, because you're violating the law and violating people's privacy by doing what you're doing. Everybody don't want to be on your fucking TikToks all over the internet because for your entertainment and your alleged clout. Get a job, bitch. Do something sensible with yourself. I mean, I'm not like you, because I would have just straight told her, if you take any more videos of anybody in this house, I'm going to take your phone and I'm going to drop it in the toilet, or I'm going to throw it out in the street and hope somebody runs over it, or I'm just going to crush it. Those are your 3 options. You put that fucking phone away and don't bring it out the rest of the time that you're here. If that's too much of a problem for you, get your ass in your car and go home. That's what you would have got from me. I refuse to have my rights violated like that. You don't even see me posting stuff of myself on the internet other than these videos on this channel. That's it. I'm not just taking selfies and my whole life on the video and all this kind of stuff. I don't do that. This is my professional capacity. This is work for me. But, fun stuff. I have pictures of my family and stuff, but there, who watches of me. So I don't know. Public is not in someone's private residence. In someone's home, if they don't give you permission to film their home and their children and their property, you have no right to do that. Now, on the street, yes. In somebody's residence, no. In someone's place of business, no. They own that space, not you. It's not public. That's private. And you very much control who can film and stuff inside of your plate, your space that you own. So yeah, on walking up and down the street, whatever, yeah. But we're not talking about that. She's going in people's houses, into their homes, their private domiciles, and filming them without their permission or consent. So it's completely different, you know. She would get, I'm telling you, she would have got cussed out. And if my brother didn't like it, I would give him some too. I just, she's crazy. I don't know. I tell you, I would smash her phone though. Even if I had to buy another one later or pay, I say, take me to court then. And by the time we get there and I sue you for my privacy infringement, we'll see who owes who. Helpful. Question number 4, female in the 50 to 56 age group. She's Latinx. Oh, no location. Summary of issue. To make a long story short, I have a 24-year-old daughter who is been engaged for about 6 months. At first, the fiance was very charming and accommodating and kind, almost to a ridiculous degree. But fast forward 6 months, we now know he's obviously a covert narcissist based on his current behaviors. They got engaged about 4 months ago, and since that time, my daughter's become extremely depressed. Her entire personality has changed. She cried probably 5 days out of 7. She is in horrible mental shape. He refused to do things like drop her off at work when she needed a ride before she got her car. He would yell and scream and call her horrible names such as a garden tool, just because she asked him to take her to work. It got worse. She became suicidal, calling me at 2 or 3 a.m., crying and extremely unstable. On top of this guy is doing things in the home of the illegal variety, which could land her in prison. I have begged, pleaded, and bargained and tried every approach possible to make her understand that she is dying. He's killing her soul. She is broken, sad, and frail and is at risk of possibly even going to prison. My sons have brutally attacked me, stating that I've gone about it all wrong and I should leave her be. That I should just let her make her own decisions and stop begging and pleading with her to leave him. And that I should never restate his worthlessness of her or how terrible of a person he is to her and just let her be. I'm afraid she will die if I just go away. I won't give up on my daughter. Why would I ignore or minimize threats of suicide and cries of misery? Am I doing the right thing? What would you do, Deb? Oh, Deb would have dropped that dime so fast. I would have said, polices. This man is over there abusing my daughter. And not only is he abusing her, she's trapped in that place. I would have played it like she was a victim. She's afraid of him. She's afraid to leave. And he's doing whatever this illegal thing is that you're talking about. I need you to go over there and arrest him and get my daughter up out that house. That's what I need you to do. And then they would do it. And then dude would be in jail and then you'd have your daughter back. Now, what you're going to have to do, she's an adult, so you can't commit her without like court action and all this kind of stuff. But it would be good if they say a policewoman or something suggested to her that she do a voluntary 72-hour mental health hold or something to kind of get herself, stabilized. And then you could bring her home. The second thing I want to say is that your sons ain't shit. I've never in my life seen sons who would let their sister be in a situation like that. And you said sons, so that means it's more than one of them. Why can't they go over there and stomp dude and get their sister out of there? Beat his ass. Them and a bunch of their friends go over to the house and drag her up out of there and beat his ass. I don't understand your sons. They'll just leave her there. It's like they don't give a shit about their sister at all, do they? And they don't give a shit about you telling you to just leave her alone. So I'm not sure what's going on with your sons and why they so trifling and stupid, but that's something that you need to understand too. I've never seen brothers like that. I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say about these two boys. Well, okay, you say sons, okay, 2, 3, whatever, however many. It's more than one because you put an S. So I don't even know what to say, but that's what, if you asked me how I would have handled it, I would have sat there and plotted, and then I would have dropped that dime and been like 911 right quick. And you know what? If she had to get arrested in the process, so be it. Because then at least she would be away from him. She would have, she could probably get away with, probation or something, but she would be away from him and she would be being monitored. Sometimes you have to take high risks to save people that are in a situation where they can't save themselves. So, I mean, ideally, she would not go to jail, but if she had to go do 90 days, sit down or something, that's all she would have to do. Is it blurry? I don't know. It might be the internet connection because we've been having all these storms and the internet connections have just been janky. Hold on a second. I'm looking at show available networks. Let me see if something else is better. Nope. I don't know. Hmm. Yeah. It's probably because of the storms. I'm looking at the power of my internet and it is not doing so well today. Sorry, people. Well, right now it's not raining, but half the state's flooded. Landslides everywhere, road closures, people evacuations. It's a hot mess. A hot mess. It's just crazy. People died, got washed off the road, drowned in their cars. All kind of horrible stuff's been going on. Then I just read that some sewage treatment plants were overflowing because of the water, and they had to release raw sewage. So in some of the areas where there's flooding, there's also raw sewage floating around, including chemicals and whatever else people wash down there sinking drains, plus flushed in the toilet, just floating around in the street. It's a hot mess. I'm telling you, I just like stay in the house. Yeah, it's horrible. So with all that in mind, there's a lot of destruction and it's impacting the internet. I'm thinking that's probably it. I'm sorry. Yep. Shut up, Leandra. I'm afraid so. I read that this morning. I was horrified. It's not in this area, more in Northern California, up there where Shay is. It's- they had roads washed out. It was a nightmare. So let's move on to question number 5. This is a young lady in the 28 to 34 age group from Swansea in the UK. Summary of issue. I hate it when my husband asks, "Do you want me to do anything?" How on earth do I get my husband to stop asking me this stupid question? In his mind, he's trying to be helpful, but it just angers me. I've literally said to him so many times, I do not want to think for another adult. I don't have another person to ask what needs doing, just do it. And he always seems to ask me when I'm in the middle of something, meaning I have to think about what he can be doing while I'm already doing millions of jobs. We have 2 children, ages 8 and 4, and no help from family. So the majority of everything falls to me as I only work part time. Am I wrong to not want to think for a 37-year-old man? And how can I get him to stop when telling me when telling him in plain English to stop isn't working? You add some flavor to it. See, you just talking regular. What you have to do is say, "Look, you stupid motherfucker. I'm not your mother. I'm not doling out chores for your allowance. You look around the house and see some shit that gets done, needs to get done. Get busy doing it." See, you have to talk to him like that. You're too being too nice. You have to call them stupid, just stupid motherfuckers and you dumb idiots and you just piece of shit, you lazy dog and stuff like that. Because that's what he's doing. He's trying to do that. What they call it, weaponized incompetence. So he doesn't have to do anything unless you tell him to. So it makes you have to do 2 jobs. You have to do what you're doing, plus you have to think about what he's supposed to do too. That's why you start cussing him out. Yeah, that's super annoying. He would have been cussed out already. And then I probably would have, like, there'd been some airborne objects flying in his direction and stuff like that. Because I have a terrible temper. I'm not going to put up with this kind of stuff. By the time he asked me the second time, I would have lost my mind. Thank you. We need some prayers around here. I'm telling you, it's terrible. Question number 6. Female in the 22 to 27 age group. She's African American from Richmond, California. Summary of issue. My boyfriend secretly filmed me during an intimate encounter. Can trust be rebuilt? Oh boy. My boyfriend is 24 and has always been a kind and loving partner to me. I'm 23. We moved in together several months ago and there have never really been any red flags. We're in a very committed relationship, and I think we're both headed towards joint home ownership in the near future. Until a couple of days ago. Why would you do that? First of all, don't do that. That's stupid. Now I'm struggling to figure out if I can continue in this relationship. Here's what happened. We were drinking at home and both had a little too much wine. I was feeling pretty sick from the alcohol, but I let him get busy with me in the kitchen. Anyways, after turning him down a couple of times, there was music playing on the speaker from his phone, and while we were in the mix, the music went off. I turned around, he was behind me, and saw him holding the phone, and then the music came back on, and he put his phone away. He never touches his phone during intimacy, but I thought he was just turning the music back on and didn't think too much about it until everything was over. Then I thought about it and asked to see what he was doing with the phone. He admitted to me that he had filmed a clip with his phone camera of what we were doing. He gave me his phone and told me that I could delete it. The clip was short, 7 seconds, but it made me sick to see it, and that he would secretly do something like that to me when he knew I never would have agreed to something like that just shocks me. I deleted it, was trying to figure out how to delete it from his recently deleted tab. He has an iPhone and I have an Android. When he snapped at me, grabbed the phone and deleted it himself. He has never snapped at me before, and I feel shocked about the whole situation. I feel so violated and hurt. I've always thought of him as a kind, honest, and gentle person. Could I have been wrong about him? Is it possible that it was a horrible mistake and nothing like this will ever happen again? I am at a loss. The past few days, we have slept in separate beds, and it's been very difficult and awkward. We have had a few conversations where we both cried, and he is very apologetic. He said he is ashamed and that he has never done anything like this and won't do anything like this again. I checked his phone to see if there are any more videos like that, and there was not. I believe it won't happen again, but I just feel so violated, and right now I don't feel like I can trust him, especially after he snapped at me when he got caught. Besides from this, he has always been such a good partner, and I was very excited for our future together. I'm not sure if I'm ready to give up on a relationship, but I'm also scared I would be making a mistake to trust him again. I feel so lost and confused. What can be done to rebuild trust after something like this? Right now, I can hardly be in the same room as him. It was essentially less than 10-second mistake on his part after treating me so well for so long, but it feels like such a huge betrayal of trust. I honestly can't tell if I'm blowing things out of proportion or if I'm underreacting and I should just cut him loose. What do you think? What would you do? Oh, he would have got cut loose that day. Let me explain something to you. The only reason he snapped and is all apologetic and everything because he got caught. If you hadn't asked to see his phone or, hadn't noticed something was different, he would have had it on his phone and who knows what he would have done with it. My thing is this: when a man shows you who he is, you need to be able to trust him. Uh-oh. I saw the internet went away for a second. He thinks that that's okay anyway, and I don't. I don't think any man like that can be trusted because he's going to do stuff that he thinks he can get away with. You just happen to catch him. So you're right not to trust him, especially something like that. That is a total violation of your privacy, of your boundaries, of your body, of your relationship, of your trust in him. Everything is checked, destroyed in that one act. Any other young man listen to this, don't be a fool. Do not be a fool. Don't be stupid. Don't do anything like this to your woman. If she wanted to be in a film like that, she would be on the, one of them sites, or she would be in that business. Don't even ask her to do anything like that. It's just so disrespectful. You're treating her like she's some kind of popcorn star or something. It's rude. It's disgusting behavior. Have some boundaries and have some respect for your woman in your relationship. She's not your little freak toy. Okay? This is terrible. Yeah, I think it went off and then it came pop back on and now it's at full whatever, full power. Yeah, to even think about doing something like that, it's just just a boundary violation. You know it. That's why you've backed up from him. You know it in your soul, but what you're trying to do is figure out if that's enough of a violation for you to end the relationship. I think, you talking about investing hundreds of thousands of dollars buying a house with somebody that's going to treat you like this. You tripping, girl. You better leave this fool alone and don't you buy a house with nobody. If you can't buy it by yourself, then you don't get it. You can't buy it with your husband, then you don't get it. You do not buy investment properties with boyfriends. Y'all be treating these boyfriends like their husbands, and I don't understand what you're doing. This is stupid ass, dumbass, silly bitch shit thing to do. Buying a house with some boyfriend. I don't know why y'all be letting yourself get talked into that shit. Stupid. Just dumb. Whew, Lord have mercy. Let's move on to question number 7. She's a female, 22 to 27 age group. She's African American from Fayetteville, North Carolina. Summary of issue. How can I deal with my contribution in a conversation being dismissed because the topic is seen as masculine? I'm 27 and have a lot of knowledge of what would be seen as masculine topics: football, cars, motorcycles, etc. In social settings, especially at work, my work is not overly male dominated, but a bit so. I experienced that my contribution in these types of conversations is being dismissed. There can, example, be a conversation about a football game, but when I say something in regard to it, I'm often not taken seriously. Then my male counterpart says the exact same or come with a similar point further in the conversation, and they all acknowledge it. It can get so frustrating because I'm sometimes being excluded from a conversation I originally was a part of because the topic changed to something male dominated. And I even experienced that my points are being hijacked by other male participants. Have you or any of the squad experienced this kind of thing? If so, how did you deal with it? No, because I don't try to join men's conversation. I mean, obviously, you grew up in a household where you were around a lot of sports, talking cars and all that stuff. I was too. Like I said, my daddy taught me how to do stuff right along with my brothers. You know, sheet rock, tape sheet rock, do paint, lay carpet, all that kind of stuff. I know how to do all of that kind of stuff. Do I want to do it? No. Am I going to talk to men about doing it? No. Because if I'm doing that, then they say, well, you could do it. You don't need me to do it. And that's not the answer. I want them to do it. While I sit there, because I don't want to break my nails. I like to sit there and look cute with my legs crossed. I'm not trying to do all that grunt work. That's for men to do. So yeah, even though I know how, and like even in your case, even though you know those things, why is it so important to you that you talk about that stuff at work? Talk about that in your private life. Let them hang around the water cooler and talk sport, jock talk if that's what they want to do, and you mind your business. Okay. You know, this is a situation that you created by trying to be in this conversation that you don't really need to be in. Okay. This is extraneous stuff. This is social stuff. This has nothing to do with your work. So you want to be showing off how much you know and stuff to them. Of course, they just sitting up there tripping. But the only thing you could say is if the next time that happens and they go by and they say something like they dismiss you, say, you know, they have women in locker rooms and women sportscasters and all that, you know, all the stuff that women do now. You do realize that y'all is like cavemen here, and then just walk off and then don't join any conversations anymore. Yeah, she thinks she's one of the guys. But like I said, she probably, you know, grew up in an environment where that was, you know, a family thing. And they said, and so she's taking it to work, not realizing that you ain't at home no more. Okay. These people don't care about all that. They obviously weren't raised the way that you were. And so you're creating friction at the workplace that you just don't have to create. Because you can go talk your sports talk to somebody who wants to hear you. You're trying to force it on some people who don't. And then write me a letter to complain about it. If you don't sit down, I wouldn't be bothered. I would just say that point, though. Kind of remind them that, you know, women have come a long way, and there's women that know just as much about sports as men do. And that's all. That's all you say, and you leave them alone from here forward. Question number 8, female, 28 to 34, age group. She's Caucasian from Montreal, Canada. Summary of issue. I'm thinking that having boundaries often means you end up alone. I'm not suggesting that people shouldn't aim to have strong boundaries, and I don't intend to lower mine. However, I'm a lone parent of young twins. My husband left suddenly 3 years ago on the basis that he, quote, couldn't cope. I've worked really hard to change my people-pleasing tendencies. I've ended 2 long-term friendships due to no longer being able to overlook their bad treatment of me. I've tried a bit of dating, but the minute I've seen the smallest red flag, I've not proceeded any further. The result, crippling loneliness. I do have a few good friends left, but I'm still desperately miss the 2 friends I had to cut out. I'm also starting to really miss having a partner to share the load. Doing everything alone is so exhausting and draining. Can anyone listening to this show relate? What is the answer? I read all the time on here about separated women whose lives improved immeasurably after getting rid of their useless husbands. 3 years down the line, and I'm still just treading water despite my best efforts. Did you have any words of encouragement for me? Well, y'all have any words of encouragement for her? Um, I'm going to say, when you stand strong, you usually stand alone. Like I said before, I've shared before this thing that my dad drew for me, where it was like this, like a triangle, like a pyramid shaped thing. And then he drew 2 lines on it. And at the top was just a small little thing. The middle was a little bit bigger, but the biggest portion was at the bottom. His explanation is that's where the crowd is. That's what the word crowd is. It means a lot. The crowd is at the bottom. The leaders are at the top. And my daddy always said, if you ain't out in the front leading, all you doing is smelling somebody else's ass. And you think about that, it's true, because you're the follower. Everybody's not qualified to lead, though, so people just have to play the position. However, if you are trying to have high standards, you're trying to model something for your children, you're trying to protect your children from predators, you're trying to eliminate extra stress and strife that you don't have to have in your life in the shape of stupid women, you're seeing red flags of warning from a man and you dump him right away, that's what you should do. So I'm not seeing a problem here. What I'm seeing is that you're not looking at enough avenues for you to develop friendships outside of those people that you already had to kick out of your life. What are you doing to get out? Are you in any kind of play groups with the other mommies? Do you do any clubs? Any interest in take any course, any kind of class or something? What do you do to socialize with other adults? I mean, kids are great, twins are cute, but I would imagine that's twice as much work as one. So, you're going to have to really give this some thought about how to take care of yourself and meet your own needs. And trust me, just because you have a partner does not mean that they're going to pick up half the load or anything like that you fantasizing about. But didn't you just read the letter hear the letter from the woman in front of you? Her husband don't do shit, or he always asking, what do you need to help me? What can I do to help, or what do you need help with or something? So she has to tell him like he's a kid. So many women talk about all the work that they do, and the boyfriends and living boyfriends and stuff don't do anything to help them. So you're thinking that, you having somebody there is going to be a help. And I'm telling you, all it's going to do is be your third child. So you really have it good. You just have to change your perspective. You just change your outlook, and then you will change your life. But right now you're on a pity party mode. And so you're not doing nothing to be any different except sitting around wallowing in self-pity. That's not working for me. Get off your ass and do something about this. Look in the chat and see what they have to say too. Question number 9. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group. She's Asian from San Jose, California. Summary of the issue. My mother is pressuring me to get married and have children, even though I'm only 20. Oh, shit, you a baby. I grew up in a Chinese American household. Once I went to college, my family has been urging me to find someone to get married and have children with. During recent years, my mother started pressing me to actively seek out in the dating pool and be settled. She even signed me up with matchmakers and started forcing me to meet with other people. To me, marriage and children are not necessary. I don't want to be settled anytime soon or ever because I've enjoyed building my own career and my independence. As much as I try to avoid this topic with spending time with my family, many of my relatives, except for my grandmother, vehemently try to convince me to form a family. Recently, my mother and I had a fight over this. She said the going childless mindset is anti-tradition. In summary, her arguments are pretty generic. 1, I will become lonely. 2, women are supposed to take on the roles of passing down a part of yourself, which is in turn a part of our ancestry. And 3, women, read heterosexual, should worry early on, unlike men, because youth is an advantage. I find it frustrating, and she always reminds me that my youth is short and that my biological clock is ticking. Sound like hers is ticking more than yours. I really love my close family members in other ways of life, but it is difficult when they can't go a day without trying to convince me that I'm wrong. I am financially independent now while living and taking care of my grandmother who has health complications. My parents let me take care of her because I have more money than them. But the question lingers as to how I can still maintain a relationship with my family when they are starting to become a source of my anxiety. I don't know what to do anymore. Just tell them you're going to go no contact. I know that's the antithesis of your culture, but you in America now, and that's what we do. We will no contact your ass in a heartbeat when you start acting stupid and affecting our mental and emotional health. So you have to tell your parents, like, look, if you guys aren't going to drop this, it's really is making me feel crazy and depressed. So I will have no option but to not talk to you anymore. Because you either let it go, and I will get married when I get ready to, if I want to or not, or I'm not going to be talking to you. Which one do you want? And just let them decide. They might decide that they don't want to talk to you because they want to still talk about what you don't want to hear, in which case you just go on your phone and block everybody's number. They want to have parties and events like that, don't go. They want to do, send you emails or texts or whatever. Their number should be blocked. Their email should be blocked. You should be blocked on social media so they can't see what you're doing. Close pages, make them private, and then bump all of them that's unfriends off your list. You have to shut the door behind yourself and insulate yourself from this crap. Otherwise, with all of them hammering on you, it will affect your mental and emotional health. The other thing that you could do is move. Now, I know you're taking care of your grandmother. You can still send money, but have her over there with them. And you go to another state, another country. There's options here. Depending on what kind of work you do, that might be a really good option. You might make more money, especially if you're bilingual. So think about that. Sometimes, you only have to be gone a couple of months and then they get a whole new understanding because they see that you're serious. So, it might be because you don't have to move permanently, but, get a temporary transfer or something to another country and just be gone so they can't bother you. Consider that as well. Question number 10. This is a female of 35 to 41 age group. She's white from London. The male in question is 42 to 49. Summary of issue: was I or my partner wrong? I'm 38 and my guy is 44. We were on holiday in Barcelona. We had both had a few drinks, left the bar and realized that I'd left behind his cigarettes. I insisted on going back to look for them. He was equally insistent that I didn't and stood in front of me, but I walked around him. To give some background, I didn't want the night being ruined by him being in a mood about me leaving the cigarettes. He maybe wouldn't, but he can be like that. He said, oh, off then, and walked off and left me. We had a major falling out when he found me 15 minutes later because I was upset and felt scared alone in the city at night. We have since sorted it out. We've been together for 2 years and barely argued before that. Would you follow someone even if they were being annoying or walk off and leave them? No, I would walk off and leave them just like he did. You know why? Because I told you I didn't want them and they're my cigarettes. So you gonna insist you're gonna be so big and bad and bold and go walking back into the bar to get them anyway, then you handle any and all repercussions from that decision. And that's what he had you do, like a big girl. You insisted you was gonna do it anyway, so then that's just on. So see, if something had happened to you after he told you not to go, you got your purse snatched, you got punched, some dude groped you or something, that would have been your fault. Because you would put yourself in that position when you didn't have to. He told you not to do it. He didn't care about the cigarettes, but you insisted. So then this is what happened. So, I'm not going to, you were the one that's wrong. He told you I don't want him. He tried to block your way. You went around him anyway. And so then he got an attitude because you weren't listening. You're going to do what you want to do. So when you do what you want to do, which grown women are entitled to, you got to, like I said, anything that comes as a result of that decision, in your case, fear and all this stuff, you were scared and upset and all that stuff, because you were alone in the city, that you knew when you walked off that you was alone in the city, but you chose to do that anyway. So shut up. Shut up. This was all your fault. You did this to yourself. You want a fucking pack of cigarettes. So, leave him. And if he said anything about it later, say, look, I offered to go get him and you didn't want me to, so shut up. That's all you had to say. And then he would have shut up. Instead, you made this whole big drama scene about a pack of fucking cigarettes. Ooh, Lord, have mercy. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Because I wouldn't have went back for your ass. I would have just kept on going where I was going and just left you there. Because you made a decision and that was what you wanted to do, then do it. And don't ask me for shit. Don't ask me about nothing and don't look for me. That's me. Question number 11, female, 20 to 34. She's Caucasian from Coventry in the West Midlands of the UK. Summary of issue: I am a 31-year-old female and the man who accosted me was in his mid-60s. After this incident, I've begun dressing down like bulky sweats and stuff to avoid male attention. How do I overcome this? Deb, I was recently accosted by a man in his late 60s in the grocery store. And when I wouldn't engage, he cited my clothes, boots, midi dress, layers for winter in his rant. Followed me through the store to register and then to the parking lot, shouting, why dress cute if I'm not going to be responsive? I'm very shy and introverted, and the incident still bothers me. I find myself gravitating towards sweats before leaving the house. I want to know if this was something other women considered and how do you overcome it? I like dressing up on my days off. Thank you for your input. You continue to dress up when you're to make yourself feel good and look good. What you did was run instead of turn around and confront. See, you did the deer in headlights fear thing. That's what you didn't even have to tell me you like, because I already knew that by your response. This wouldn't have went down if this was not like this. And then turn around and say, look, you old fucker, get out of my face and stop following me around the goddamn store, you pervert. Loud. Okay? Put him on blast. Or got up to the register and say, look, where's your security? Because this motherfucker right here keeps following me around the store and talking to me, and I don't want him talking to me. I want him to leave me the fuck alone. Okay? Something like that would also win. Or you were on your phone call. I don't know, what is it in UK? It's probably not 911. Well, whatever it is, 119, 911, 911, whatever it is, you say, look, I'm in the grocery store shopping and this man is following me around the store and sexually harassing me. Can you come to such and such a market and arrest him? I want to press charges. And he would have heard you make the call and he would have ran. You know, there's all kind of ways that you could have handled this besides running away like a scared little kid. And then you want to hide in your house and hide in your clothes. You got to, as a young woman, you have to find your voice. This is mandatory. You're going to be living in this world with stupid ass men. You cannot let them run you like this. You better speak up, girl. You better find your voice. If you need to, get your little ass in a self-defense class so you get some confidence about handling yourself around fools like this. But he didn't even touch you. He was just talking shit. And you were entitled to talk shit right back. But you didn't. You just ran away. You know, when you run away like this, these kind of people get emboldened because they know you're scared and they love that. They thrive on it. When you turn around and face them and cuss them the fuck out and be loud and get in their face and stuff like that, then they run scared because they don't expect it. You cannot live your life like this. Okay, you're 31 years old, way too old to be acting like this. I could see this as if you were 14 or 15 years old and was just a kid and this is some grown man, but you're 31 years old. No. So you listen to what I said, look and see that they got stuff that they have to say in the chat room as well, and get it together. Okay, this should never happen to you again. A man doing some bullshit like this, you better find your voice and cuss his fucking ass out. Girl, I just wish something like this would happen. I'm too old now. They don't do that kind of stuff to me anymore. But I'm telling you, when I was young, it was the same shit. And they was every kind of motherfucker I could think of. Pervert, creep, old dusty bucket, just gray-headed grandpa, all kind of nasty stuff I would say to them, especially when they was old. Say, don't nobody want you, Gramps. You looking like somebody's, like my grandfather's younger than you. Oh, B, nobody wants your dick don't even get hard no more. You sitting up there wishing you could get a boner. Fuck out of here. I like young, strong men. I don't like nobody like you with flabby skin and a gut. Stuff like that. Just say stuff, but they just read them. And then they turn around and tuck their tail between their legs because they know it's true. Fingers all swollen and stuff from your pressure and your sugar. Let's get somebody out of the here. I need a cussing app. I don't know. My thing is, I can't do it on cue. It's like I have to be in the moment. When my, emotions are stirred, then the words just fly out my mouth, especially if I'm looking at them and they look stupid or they just look crusty. Ooh, my mouth just turns on. It's like there's no filter and no break. Question number 12. Of a song, really. Male, 22 to 27. He's African from Dallas. Summary of issue: I have nothing to offer a woman, and it's depressing. Wow. I'm 27, yet I still live at home and working at a job in a fast food restaurant that I hate. Not only do I suck at it, but it makes me have sensory overload every day because I'm autistic and very sensitive to noises and smells. It's not the right work for me, but I can't find anything else outside of fast food. It's depressing and embarrassing to be in this position. I feel like less of a man because of my autism. Since most people aren't autistic and are disgusted by our existence, I'm doomed in the dating world unless I somehow get lucky and find another autistic woman. I'm a failure and it's only going to get worse. I don't know what to do. Can you help me? Okay, anybody from the Dallas area that knows anything about social services programs for special needs people? If you do, even if you listen to this video after, please put it in the comments. Young man, look in there, and then I'm going to tell you to go to the internet and you look up social services for your county, and you make a call and you find out if they can refer you to any community-based organizations that offer support programs for autistic people, autistic adults. And then you go there and you register with the program, and then whatever they offer, you avail yourself of it. A lot of times they'll have social events, mixers and stuff like that. They'll plan little trips. I mean, you could at least, make you some friends and stuff. They might even have some kind of employment services so they could help you look for a better job. But it's going to start with you. I don't know what's in Dallas, but I'm just saying in general, these services all are offered by counties, and you should be able to line up something. Okay, so social services and whatever you Dallas, yeah, whatever they offer there, tell them what your situation is. Tell them you need some employment help and you need some socialization help, and you're depressed and you're lonely and you just feel like your mental health is suffering and you need some help. And you tell them that, and they'll help you. They'll assign you to a social worker or a program, and then you'll be on your way. Okay. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I don't want you feeling like you're a failure. You have you got a little challenge there, but there are agencies and people who are trained and ready to help you. Okay, so you just gotta just connect with them. Question number 13. This is a female in the 28 to 34 age group from Portland, Oregon. Summary of issue, ladies, what did you do to protect yourself financially when moving in with your partner? Hey, Deb and squad, I'm essentially looking for tips and advice in general. I'm about to move into a house with my fiance. We pooled our money, and the house will be owned 50-50 by both of us, and we're going to get a joint savings and a checking account for household costs. However, I'll still be getting my salary paid into my personal account, and I have my own basically depleted savings account, which I'll hopefully be adding a small amount of money to each month. I trust my partner 100%, and I know he's a lovely guy, but I also know I'd be stupid not to have a safety net. Looking forward to hearing how other women handle their separate finances. I'm trying to figure out why you did this, and what did you go see an attorney before you jumped up and did this before you got married? Fiance don't mean husband. A lot of people have a fiance and then next week they don't. What do you have in place to make sure that you're protected? Did you guys draft up an agreement with an attorney? Or did you just blindly put your money in and just hope for the best? $20,000, $30,000 just gone. I'm going to say this. Before you do anything else, consult an attorney and figure out what your rights are and your legal responsibilities, obligations, and the benefits of the situation, which is something you should have done before you unasked a red cent. But you didn't handle your business. You just thinking love is enough. Love gets women's face cracked all the time when the dude walks off with the house through some hook and crook shit, and then you just be sitting there looking stupid because you didn't handle your business. This is something I would never do. I would never recommend that a woman do that. By the time you got married, then you pool and go 50-50. Not with a mere boyfriend, not with a mere fiance, because both of those things mean that you're still single, and so is he. And shit happens. Okay. Yeah, they had a fiance. Like I said, I like to talk about the runaway bride. They had a fiance up until 2 minutes before the wedding, before saying I do. It couldn't be me either. I just see women doing this shit all the time, and I'm like, what the fuck are you guys thinking? Why are you so stupid? How many women have fallen into this trap just to be all, hoping for the best and all in love and stuff? Keep your money in your bank account. He want to buy a house, make him buy it, and then you move in. Say, I'll buy the furniture. You want to get some shit that you can take with you when you go. Pictures, curtains, blinds, rugs, furniture, kitchen, that kind of stuff. Make him pay for the house he wanted so damn bad. That's your favorite movie? Yeah, honey. She was, I was like, go girl. I never seen somebody run so fast. Question number 14. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group. She's African-American from Atlanta. Oh boy. Dustville, USA. Summary of issue. My ex-boyfriend poked holes in condoms that I had in my apartment when he found out that I had a new man. Oh. How was your ex up in your house? Okay, let's find out. I'm 23 and I was in a 4-year relationship with an extremely abusive partner who's 29 now. That ended 3 months ago when I made him move out. He came over about a week ago to get the rest of his things, and I really wasn't paying attention to what he was doing as he was gathering stuff up while I was watching TV. He made a comment about seeing a box of condoms on my dresser, and I said it wasn't any of his business what I was doing. I didn't think anything of it after that. But last night, someone I've been seeing spent the night, and we used a condom. Afterwards, we realized that the condom was completely busted open, which had never happened before. New guy said that the package did feel weird and maybe they were damaged. He found the wrapper and said that there were several pinholes in it. I looked inside the box and realized that every single one of them had multiple holes poked in them. My stomach was in knots when I remembered my ex making a comment about seeing the box. It never would have crossed my mind that he tampered with them. If that condom hadn't completely split open, who knows how many of them we would have used knowing there was a hole. We went to the store and got plan B, but I'm still in complete shock. Is there anything I can do about this? I'm completely at a loss of what to do next. Well, what do you want to do? From what I can see, he did what he did. You found out about it. And so no harm, no foul. You didn't get pregnant, right? What's the problem? The mistake that you made, though, was you were supposed to box all his shit up and have it at the door, not let him go rummage around your house like that. You box his shit up and you put it at the door, so that's as far in as he gets. You open the door, hand him his box, say bye-bye, and close and lock the door. You didn't do that, though. You didn't handle your shit. Y'all just be so lackadaisical with these men. I just don't understand. There's no way in this world I would let my ex go roaming around in my house and unsupervised. You're not getting past the front door. I'm going to have your shit. If I even open the door, I'm probably you on your way, and I open the door and sit the shit outside, and you just better get here fast before somebody thinks it's a giveaway. Yeah, well, maybe she did change it, like so she let him in, she didn't say all that, but that's not the point. The point is he was in there getting his stuff, and she wasn't watching him. She watching TV and shit. And he rummaging out through her stuff. She don't know what he did. He could have laced something with poison or taken some. I mean, there's so many possibilities here. There's stuff that he could have done since he's this weird type, and she already knows he's abusive. And she just turning her back on him and just letting him just run amok in her house. That's what I'm saying. She's being dumb. Just totally naive and just overly trusting and it's silly. So, I don't know. There's nothing really for you to do. Okay. Just don't let no motherfuckers up in your house like that again. If he calls talking about he got something else he forgot, ask him where is it, and that you'll sit it outside when he's on his way, or mail it to him or something, or I don't know. Everything I've left in here that I didn't recognize, I threw it away already. Just tell him that shit. Fuck him. Question number 15. Female in the 28 to 34 age group. She's from Memphis, Tennessee. Summary of issue. My fiance, 32, is a 10 in the looks department and everything else, but he has anger problems. What should I do? Why is this a question? He's great, and everything I could ask for in our life is almost perfect, except he gets so mad. It'll be easier to accept that the issue were actually big issues, but even the smallest things blow up to be the big thing. I think he has a problem with letting things go. For example, something didn't go as planned. It's annoying. It sucks. But you get over it and figure it out. My fiance will be so upset, sulking, and when I try to get him out of his funk, he gets mad at me. I give him some time to get his emotions together and I check up on him. His inability to let go of the issue really starts pissing me off. And how many times can I say, I'm sorry? What you saying you sorry for? At this point, I started getting sassy because I'm getting frustrated and tell him he's having a temper tantrum. He then blows up yelling, cursing, and punching walls. I get scared, not that he'll hit me, but just his anger is scary. He threatens to leave and I beg him not to. I say sorry for us fighting. After a day, he apologizes for lashing out. The whole thing repeats a month later. I can't tell anyone because I don't want their opinion of him to change, but I'm just so tired. So tired of having to say sorry when I'm not really sorry, just to calm him down. How do you calm your SO down when you're just frustrated with yourself? I wouldn't take this for 5 minutes. The first time he started getting mad and flipping out and trying to blame me for it, I would have deuced out. Poop. That's a red flag. Why you stayed to a point where you let him do this to you every month, and then you could advance to the point where you call him your fiance? Girl, are you stupid? Are you stupid? You must be stupid, because this is nothing that nobody should ever be bothered with. You just desperate to be somebody's fiance. It's like when these men propose, these women lose their goddamn minds. They take all kind of abusive behavior and just go crazy and tolerate all kind of nonsense because he's a fiance. Fuck that motherfucker. Give him his ring back. Tell him to shove it up his ass. And he want to throw shit, tell him throw that ring then. Let's do that. Girl, get away from this idiot. Get away from this fool. You're going to have a nervous breakdown messing with him. And he's up there getting mad and yelling and stuff, and you go and check on him and stuff. You're supposed to walk out the door and leave him that's there. He want to pout and act a fool, then let him do it. You're babying him so he gets the reward that he's looking for acting a fool. It's a stupid cycle that you've set up. He acts a fool, you apologize and baby him, so then you apologize to him, and then he apologizes to you, and then he acts a fool. So it's this weird dynamic that you guys have created. It's not going to do anything but get worse, because at some point he's going to put his hands on you. All of these behaviors that he's doing are tests to see what you will take. And so far, you just dealing with it. You taking it. I wouldn't take this shit 1 second. Not for 1 second. You act a fool if you want to. You're going to be acting one by your damn self. I'm out. Oh. Question number 16. Female in the 22 to 27 age group from Kansas City, Missouri. Deb, this is not my question, but my friends and I were talking about it while drinking over the weekend, and I just wanted to get your input. Summary of issue. Young lady 21, boyfriend 27. He keeps walking in on me when I'm using the bathroom to poop. Oh, I bet you were talking about this while you was drinking. Okay. I've been with my boyfriend for 8 months and had noticed after we were living together that he frequently walked into the bathroom while I was on the toilet. I started locking the door, but he would unlock it saying he needs to brush his teeth or he forgot something, etc., or some other excuse. I asked him to respect my privacy and to not walk in on me. We talked about it and he agreed. Now he hasn't come into the bathroom since we spoke, but I've noticed how he'll often rush into the bathroom after I pooped to try to smell it. Oh, Lord have mercy. He has been subtle about this, but it made me feel violated and totally self-conscious. I'm not sure if it's a kink he's keeping secret, but I need advice here on how to proceed. This is what you do. They have these kind of sprays that neutralize odors. You have to get it, and it has to be like in a vial that you could hold in your hand so he don't know that you got it, or hide it somewhere in the bathroom. This place he'll never see it, like inside the toilet, or I don't know, inside a tampon box or something like that. Someplace he's not going to look. And then as soon before you flush, you spray it so it gets all the smell out, right? Then you flush, you wash your hands. So he's going to think he's timing is just right, right? And he's going to rush in there thinking he's going to get him a nice whiff of poo-poo-poo, and he's going to get poo-pourri smell instead. And he's going to be all sad and disappointed. You do that a few times. Poo-pourri, exactly. You know I don't have good sense, but that's what I would do. So then I would just sit there and looking at him, because you know you just destroy his fun. This is bizarre. I don't even know what to say. This shit's funny though. This wouldn't work for me. I don't have the kind of tolerance to deal with these dudes and their weird fetishes. I just don't. I can't. I cannot deal with stuff like this. The first time he did it, I've been like, motherfucker, you going in there trying to smell somebody's stinky bathroom poop or something? What's wrong? What's up with you? I would have just said it. No, she don't need to do all that investigation work. She just needs to pack her shit and leave. I mean, see, this kind of thing, when you have somebody like this, you know, I project, okay, so say you married him and then you had kids And you know, baby's pooping in the diaper. Was he gonna be like hovering around the baby, smelling the baby's booty so he can get him a whiff of poo-poo smell? Your toddler is being toilet trained. He gonna go run in the bathroom to look in the toilet. See, this is not going in a good direction. So you know, you think like that. I mean, you want a man who's normal. Okay, you want somebody who's normal, who's not gonna be involving your kids in his freaky shit. So I personally don't see where there's any value to a relationship like this, because I would be too worried about how he would do around my kid, my baby, and my baby's poopy diapers. That wouldn't work for me. So, you know, this is the kind of thing, this is how my mind, I'm not looking at the scenario just now. And that's just how I think. I project into the future. Because you know that thing I made the video, right? It's called And Then What? I'm always looking at and then what? Okay, you doing this right now, then what might happen? Then what's going to happen? Where might this go to? And I'm going to go through all the steps and all the possibilities. And then I'm going to arrive at a conclusion where you need to get out of my life. You don't need a puppy. He'd be walking around smelling the puppy poo too. This dude is just weird. He's just weird. He just got to go. I told you all this is the craziest relationship advice show. Anyway, whoever sent this in, thank you for that laugh, but you don't have to do that again, okay? You don't have to do that no more. Question number 17, female, 22 to 27, Black from Menlo Park, California. The male in question. Oh, wait a minute. What is this? No, this is a repeat. She put the same letter in here twice. Okay, question number 18, female, 28 to 34, from Antwerp, Belgium. Summary of issue. My boyfriend opened up all of my mail with his mom, and I want to break up. I don't want to be judged, but it is what it is. Please tell me what I should do in a situation like this. I am 28 and I have some debts. I told my boyfriend, he's 30, numerous times about it, and I'm on my best way to pay them off. I didn't open my mail for several months because I receive everything with an email or digital mail service. I'm paying lots of money, so it's gone by the end of the year. Nobody ever cared about that. So I just did my thing, and he never was affected by my problem. Besides paying lots of money into debts every month, I still had enough money left over. But yesterday when I got off of work, he told me that he needs to talk. I said, why? And he was like, I opened your complete mail and brought it to my mother because I was crying and scared, and I'm absolutely shocked. He then continues to tell me that I'm €20,000 in debt, which is not true. It's about 4,000 euros, which really isn't that much better, but it works for me to pay it off. I then got really angry because I felt like he should talk to me before running to his mom. What even is this? If he's worried, I would have understood, but why bring my mail to his mom? We already don't get along. So they opened all my mail and counted everything together, which doesn't make sense. If you won't pay something, you'll get the letter over and over again, but it's the same thing. They put everything in a folder, and she put sticky notes everywhere, which stuff I, quote, have to do now, or where she already called. I already have an anxiety disorder and panic attacks, and I just went off towards my boyfriend. I felt like standing naked in the streets. She is upset. I told him that I have it in control and that he already knew it anyways. Why put on a show now? I continued to tell him that this was too much and I consider breaking up. He then told me that I'm ungrateful because they wanted to help me, and then he got mad. I just think that they could have offered to help, but that's not just decided for me without knowing anything. That's what I also told him. I'm 28 years old and I'm completely shocked. We've known each other for 11 years. Now my love feels kind of shattered. I don't know how to act. This threw me off. What would you do in my situation? I would leave his ass. Because two things here. This is a complete violation of your privacy. It's a complete violation of trust. And then he gonna run like a little bitch to his mommy about your business before he even talks about it to you. See, that's 3 strikes, you out. How can you trust a man that would do something like that to you, especially involving his mother? How does that work? How are you supposed to feel like he's your partner when he's ripping and running and tattling on you to his mommy? You good, because I would, you might want to stay there till the end of the year when you finish paying off this 4,000 euros, and then boop, be out. There's no future in this relationship. No future at all. This guy is not partner material. He's a mama's boy and he's just too fucking nosy. But then, we also got to look at you. Okay, so you get the bills, this other way. Why did you leave them laying around like that? What was the point of all of that? Why did you not take them to work with you and put them in the shredder? You don't need them because, like you said, you got them in this other format and you've been paying on them. So why would you leave bills sitting around for months and months on end? That's, something that you need to examine about yourself. What was the point of that? Okay. Question number 19, female in the 22 to 27 age group from Renton, Washington. I wonder where that is. Summary of issue. My boyfriend wants another session of counseling, but I just want to break up. I'll make this short and sweet, just like you like them. Thank you. We are 22 and 23. Things started off great. We got along very well. Then he created a lie for no reason other than looking better to me. Then he lied again and again, and I found out at least one lie a month. Some were impulsive and some were things he had hidden from me since the beginning. I wanted to leave a few times, but I stayed and set more boundaries. We've been together for 9 months. He created a lie for no reason again, and I found out that he lied about something major for the entire relationship. I moved out a week ago. He, quote, changed everything as a last-minute attempt to get me to stay. We went to one session of couples counseling, but I just want to leave him. He keeps asking me to not break up with him, saying that he will change, but he didn't change for 9 months, but he can change in a weekend. Yeah, okay. I still have some things at his house. We have another appointment on Thursday, but I just want to leave him. But I cry when I think about it. I cry when I think about staying with him forever too. What should I do? Slap yourself. You only get to cry over one thing. Pick one. Pick a struggle, and then you do that one. Now, you don't want to be with the man. You say you don't want to be with him, and you don't want to go to counseling. Okay, so that's 2 against 1. You crying because you think about breaking up with him, but so what? Nobody ever said that, when that a breakup is easy. Nobody ever said that. It's always hard when your dreams go up in smoke. And what you're crying about is the loss of the fantasy that you had of happily ever after. You're not crying about him because he's a piece of shit. You're crying because of the fantasy that you had and it's not going to come true. And so you're mourning a dream. When you think about it that way and put it into perspective, then you'll snap out of this fugue state that you put yourself in. Tell him that you're going to come by and pick up your stuff and that you're not going to counseling, but you can tell him that after you get your stuff. Get your stuff first. And then tell him that you change your mind. You're not going to go to counseling. And then, just block his number. I mean, you already moved out, so what's the point? The second you moved out, it was over. He just the only one that don't seem to understand that. Question number 20. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from Montreal, Canada. Summary of issue. Good guys always ghost me. I've been in dating apps for some time now, and there's this common occurrence for me. Most guys in those apps just want to mess around and don't want to find anything serious. But whenever I match with someone good, they talk to you with respect and have good conversations, just an overall nice guy, but they always end up ghosting me after a couple of days. Some just stop responding, and some are just, boom, gone in my contacts. Wow. I don't understand what's going on because our last conversations were good and no hint of any negativity. Is this normal with guys on dating apps? Or is it just a divine intervention for me? Ha, ha. Anyways, any words of wisdom will be very much appreciated. Thank you. I don't know crap about dating apps. Maybe they have some comments. I haven't even seen one. So you asking me, that's something I cannot respond to with any kind of authority because I don't know the first thing about it. All I can tell you is that every woman who has written here has experience with a dating app and none of them are good. So you think over the years, we're doing the average of 25 letters a week. So that's 100 a month over 7 or 8 years. That's thousands of women. And not one of them has a good experience with a dating app. So to me, that's a sign that dating apps are a no-no and that there's just the dudes on them are just looking for a good time and get as many panties as possible, as quickly as possible. Since you wasn't talking about come over and let's get busy, they moved on because that's all they were looking for anyway. I don't know if I'd be too upset about that if I were you, but I would also not be looking on a dating app for me a relationship. Yeah, I like I said, if I had heard some good stories about it, it might be something that I would investigate. But I ain't heard not one person say anything good about it. They ghost 24/7. Shit, that's what I did. And I wasn't even that young. Question number 21. This is a male in the 22 to 27 age group from Newcastle in Australia. Summary of issue: texting in modern relationships. I feel like texting takes too much away from an in-person communication. I'm 22 for reference, but when I start dating a girl, it is constant texting all day. If you don't see them and you only reply once every hour or so, that's still a lot of conversations that could happen in person. Like 30 plus messages back and forth some days. What you got to be texting all that about? All that texting often leaves me struggling to be excited about talking to them again. That's because I already know what they did every hour of every day this week. Even if it's been 4 days since I've seen them or whatever, I don't have much to ask because I already know everything. It's just such a weird expectation in modern relationships. Has anyone else ever told you that they feel this way too? No, but I've told myself I feel that way. I don't like texting. I don't understand what the big deal is and why people want to have a whole conversation by text. I'm with you. And it's interesting that you point this out because, they're telling you so much that by the time you actually see them in person, y'all don't have nothing to talk about. They're texting too much. Why can't you just tell them that? So, when you text all the time, it makes us not really have anything to talk about when I see you or to try to talk on the phone because you've already texted me everything. It's like it's no mystery. This is really not a good way to date. Why can't you just tell them that? I mean, you told me it's very, clear, concise communication, very expressive. Why can't you share that with them? Like, look, I can't be texting you all day long. Not only do I not have time, I'm not interested in that kind of communication. You either talk on the phone or we meet up in person, and that's how we're gonna do things. I'm not gonna be texting back and forth with you all day. Why can't you say that? Why can't you put that boundary in place? You think because she texts you that you have to text her back? You just need to tell people, how you want the relationship to run, you need to communicate that. You asking people to be a mind reader. That's not fair. So you need to tell these girls, look, I broke up with some people before because they kept texting me all the time. I like to have conversations in person. So if your idea of dating is you're going to be texting me 500 times a day, it ain't going to work. And I'm going to just tell you that right now. So what you want to do? Let's see what they say. Because I think it's boring. I don't want to be texting all the time. It's just like, I don't feel like looking at all of that. People sending you walls of text. Question number 22. This is a female, 22 to 27 age group. She's Asian from London, England. Summary of issue. My ex tried to K himself because I don't want to get back together with him after he cheated on me. Wow. I found out that my ex cheated and we had a very messy breakup. So I blocked all his socials and number. But then I got an unknown call one day and it was his mom saying that I should get back together with him because he attempted to K himself. See what I mean? Answering the phone when it's an unknown number. Why did you do that? So I followed advice from friends and I went no contact. I sent a text to his mom saying how I'll be going no contact, but I wish for his fast recovery. Basically, it did not go well and definitely got a lot worse before it got better. His mom sent me a lot of messages and most were curses and included a lot of derogatory words. Why didn't you block her? I knew she was mentally troubled because of what happened to her son, so I ignored it and I blocked her. Finally, I got lots of messages and message requests, and it was because she posted what was supposed to be a private matter on social media for the whole world to see. She even posted pictures of him in the hospital and she tagged me. It was overall a very hateful post. She screenshotted my text message to her about going no contact. I was turned into a villain overnight. Most of my message requests were my ex's relatives cursing me, and some of them were random strangers who also rebuked me. Even worse, some of my own relatives berated me and they said I should have taken their advice and got back together with him. My mom told me to go on social media detox or just go on sites where I enjoy it and she'd handle it. Well, she posted a response to my ex's mom's post and it was about how she conveniently left out the part where her son cheated on me just to gain internet sympathy. That's right, mom is a savage. My friends also backed it up and sent receipts and screenshots. My friends were the first people to know about the cheating. The hate died down a bit, and I also received some support, but the damage has been done. My ex's company saw both posts, and they want to let him go because the whole issue is not good for their image. So far, the posts are still up. To be honest, the most absurd thing about all this is how my ex is still asking for me. What should I do now? You should get him on the phone and say, you're such a fucking failure. You can't even cater yourself. Everything that you try to do is a failure. You're not good at shit. You can't fuck. You can't work. You don't have no money. You got a stupid mother. You're stupid. And I don't want to be bothered with none of you people. Now, what I'm going to tell you this, don't call me anymore, because all I wish is for the next call I get about you to be to invitation to your fucking funeral. You say some stuff like that to him and his mama, they won't call you no more. But see, you being nice. I don't have that gene. I would have lit that bitch up right quick. It's like, why are you calling me? I want the motherfucker to die. What you talking about? Too bad he failed, but he's a failure at everything. So it would just go to say that he would not do it right. But, I don't really care if he lives or dies. I just don't give a fuck. So don't call me with that shit, because I'm going to be sitting over here lighting candles and praying that motherfucker dies. A quick death. No, I want him to be tortured and slow. I want him to be slow. I want him to be in the hospital for months and months in pain, agony, just something eating him alive. That sounds like about the best thing. Some of that flesh-eating disease, that sounds about right. Long COVID, right? That mother hacks up a lung or some shit. Something like that. That would be ideal. So you talk to her like that, like you just really don't give a fuck, which I never do. Then she'll be so shocked and appalled, she'll leave you alone. She'll tell everybody she's evil, she's heartless, she doesn't care about my son. And you say, you're right. I don't care about you either. So both of you motherfuckers leave me alone. So you say some stuff like that about her. You say some stuff like that to her, she'll leave you alone. He'll leave you alone too. And he'll be like, feeling good that he escaped in one piece. Shit, I wish I would. Don't ever call me telling me about something about your son trying to kill himself so I can say, you fucking failure. He didn't succeed at that. He don't succeed at shit. He's a failure at life itself. No, you don't have to put it in writing. I said, say it. Call her. She called her, the mother called her, right? And she said it was an unknown number. She picked it up. That's when she would have got an earful. Yeah, I heard about this new strain. Some new strain, but it's like everything's milded down now. But yeah, I would have lit her ass up right quick. She would have never called me. And she would have went online talking about what I said. I said, wow, that bitch is delusional. Look at her making up shit. Question number 23, female in the 28 to 34 age group, Toronto, Canada. Summary of issue: how can I be less possessive of material things? I hate that I get so anxious about sharing my stuff with friends. Why? I'll tell you about my share thing. I don't do that shit no more either. I'm 31. I've always had this problem with getting way too attached to material things, and I don't know why. Like, I remember getting angry at my mom for wanting to throw away my old toys when I was a little kid, even though they were broken or when I barely ever played with them anymore anyway. I remember crying when my dad sold his truck when I was 10, even though he bought a new one. I was also poor for a while in my 20s, so anytime I did have something nice, I would do absolutely everything I could to make sure it didn't get damaged or lost. I know logically that material things aren't that important, especially now that I make more money and can easily replace them. But I still hate letting my friends borrow stuff, and I feel really bad about it. Like, I know logically that I can trust them, but I still get really anxious about it, and I wish I didn't. I'm practicing just letting them borrow my stuff anyway, so I can train myself to get over this fear. But I wish I could just not care. Well, why can't they buy their own stuff? Why do they have to borrow yours? Let's start there. Secondly, I'm going to tell you about two things. 2 times I loaned friends stuff, and both times my shit got fucked up, and so I don't loan shit anymore. One was when I was in high school. This little boyfriend I had bought me a rabbit purse for my birthday. I mean, I don't know how much he spent, but, it was cute. And it was like, for a little teenager, that was like a dress-up bag, right? So I had a friend who was going on a date somewhere. Anyway, she wanted to borrow my rabbit purse. And she was my best friend, so I let her use it. Why this bitch gonna put a doggy bag in my purse? It stained the fur with the grease from the whatever she put in there. And my father, I babysat and stuff, but I didn't have any money to pay for like that kind of cleaning. Shit was expensive. So my daddy said, well, you're just gonna have to throw it away. So I had to throw away my little purse, right? Because it had the big brown spot on it. And it wasn't in this place where you could try to play it off, like the brown rabbit had a brown spots on the side. Nope, it was obviously a food stain. Okay, so then fast forward about 20 years. And this girl I knew was going for a job interview. And she didn't have any nice blouses. She wanted to borrow this. I had this silk shirt. And, I used to dress real nice when I went to work. And I had, corporate jobs and law firms and stuff. And so she wanted to borrow my shirt, one of my, silk blouses. So I let her use it. I'm like, what's the worst that happens? Just take it and get it dry clean before you bring it back. So she did, but you know what? She's one of those kind of people. Some women have this real strong body smell, body odor, like this heavy kind of musky smell. She was a very clean person and all of that, but she had this scent to her body. That funk was in my blouse. I had to throw the shit away. I could never get it out. I tried hand washing it. I cleaned it again. The smell was in the fabric or something. It was just really weird. And I couldn't wear it because it smelled like her. So after that, I was like, so here's my like $70 blouse in the garbage can from the funk. I guess I could have gave it to her, but I didn't want to. And so I threw it away. And then, so I don't loan my stuff anymore. I don't. Yeah, it was funky. I could not get that smell out. So I don't have a problem with you not wanting to loan your stuff to people. So I just don't have that problem. I totally get it. And I'm in your corner. So stop loaning people. So stop putting that pressure on yourself to think that you have to loan them shit. Tell them to go buy their own. Yeah, like I said, she was a clean person, but she just had a naturally heavy, musky kind of body smell. I mean, she could come out the shower, just scrub down, and you could smell the soap and stuff on her, but then 5 minutes later, you would smell that smell. So I don't know what that was. Question number 24, female 20 to 34. She's mixed race from Northampton in the UK. The male in question is 35 to 41, and he's white. Summary of issue. My husband talked down to me and patronized me all day in front of my friends. And he's still living? I'm so fucking pissed off. This man has tried chipping away at my friendships for as long as I have known him. I met up with a, quote, friend today at swimming with the kids. My husband joined us and was to stay only a short time to help me keep an eye on the children, but he ended up staying with us for hours. He constantly made disparaging remarks aimed at me, made out that I was controlling and bullying wife, and that he was the hard done by party. My friend lapped up this information, then turned around and told me off for picking on him. Really? And you took that? I'd mentioned to this friend in the past that we were having marital problems, but left it at that. Today, she acted like a nosy cow, but my husband delivered in spades and shared really private details of our relationship with her. I kept giving him the eye and indicating that he should stop, and also told her not to encourage him and to stop digging, but she wouldn't listen either. Husband was also complimenting her left, right, and center, telling her that he liked her bag, what she was wearing, etc. I feel humiliated. I'm a very private person, only share intimate details about my life on a need-to-know basis, but today I feel disrespected by both of them. I feel like they both had a laugh at my expense. I know I need to divorce this loser, but I'm sadly tied to him for financial reasons and the fact that our children are really, really young and dote on him. I received a really mushy message from this friend just now telling me that she loves me and is looking out for me, and I need to do some work on myself if I'm to save my marriage, but I feel like telling her to fuck off. My husband is downstairs with the children. I needed to get away from him, but I feel like blasting him the minute they are asleep. He's been utterly vile today and played the victim act to perfection. He always manages to convince others that he's miserable and that his life is all my fault. I'm a strong, upbeat, and resilient person, and people always believe him. I'm always made out to be the wicked witch. I'm so fucking angry right now. Look into some daycare for your kids and get you a job. And then you start saving some money so you can get the fuck away from this fool. This is emotional abuse. He's probably sound like a bit of a narc here too. But I don't really like to label people, but he's definitely, doing the gaslighting thing and playing the victim role to make somebody feel sorry for him. Now, if this were me, let me pick this back up. How would Deb have handled this? Okay, so he came and he ended up staying for hours. You with some women and children, what are you doing here? Get out. Nobody's trying to look at you. This is for mommy's day. You not a mommy. Get out. Go home. Okay, that would have started. Then if he decided that he was going to stay and he started, making remarks and stuff like that, and you just sat there, you didn't cuss him out and her too? That's what you're supposed to say. Like, look here, bitch. You don't have shit to say about my marriage, and don't you be asking them no fucking questions either. Don't make me start getting into your business and putting your business on the street, okay? Because we friends, I know just as much about you as you might be trying to think you know about me. Don't get me started, because I will put all your shit on the internet. Then you, motherfucker, right there, what the hell do you think you doing? Get your shit and get the fuck out of here. Kids, let's go. We all leaving. And then we would have went home, and I would have reamed his ass the second we got in the door, whether the kids were there or not. I know a lot of people don't like to rant and rave in front of their kids. I just like, you need to know about the world. And this motherfucker right here, that's your daddy, is a fucking asshole. And so you about to learn today that this is the reality of how things do. No woman should put up with this kind of treatment. The fact that you stayed there and then you sat there and wrote a letter to me instead of going smooth the fuck off on both of them is just some amazing shit to me. I just don't know how you women do this. All this anger and stuff, you should have been directing that at both of them. You should have been blowing her hair back. She should have been every bitch hole you could have thought of, pushed her ass in the pool. All kind of stuff would have happened if it was me. I mean, I wouldn't have tried to hurt her, but she definitely would have went in the pool. That's what she need to be. Cool your fucking jets, okay? And then this husband, I'm like, well, she feel like she's dependent on him. Don't you understand that if you get a divorce, he's gonna have to pay child support? You'll have the money. He's gonna have to pay health care. He's gonna have to pay some stuff. You're not gonna be on your own. And if it's that much of a problem, then give him the kids. Let him figure it out. Since he's got all the answers. I just don't understand this kind of stuff. I see this is where I couldn't be married to a man like this. Yeah, that bitch would have got smooth cussed out, and him too. I'm telling you, I know me. This would have not went down like this more than about 2 minutes while I kind of just sat there like, am I really hearing what I mean? You know what I mean? Because first you'd be kind of in shock. And then you'd be like, okay, he did this one thing. Is he going to keep going? Is this a one-time thing I could blast him later? Or is he going to keep going? He's feeling emboldened now. So I'm going to have to like rip his head off right in front of everybody at this pool. Question number 25. This is our next to last question of the evening. This is a young lady in the 20 to 34 age group. She's African-American from Cleveland, Ohio. Summary of issue. What is the benefit of having a husband? Well, that's a good question coming up right after this other one. I constantly see people writing in or talking about how a man wouldn't propose to a woman if he already gets everything from her, being her boyfriend, or buying a cow if he gets the milk for free kind of stuff. They say a woman shouldn't give the guy all the benefits he would have as her husband. But what do they actually mean by that? I know that for some people, it means you shouldn't move in together before marriage. But I don't agree with that. I want to live with a guy before I marry him. But what else could they mean? I mean, if I hold back what I want to give him, whatever it is, cooking for him, being super nice to him, doing the household together, eggplant, etc., I'm not showing the person I really am. And why would he marry me if I don't show him my good and caring sides before he can even decide to marry me? I would love to hear your opinion about that. FYI, when I say I and he, I'm just talking theoretically. Myself, I'm not planning to get married anytime soon. You're thinking that you have to audition to be a wife. That is the thing that young girls think. They have to prove to a man that they would make a good wife. So you go through all these changes, cooking, cleaning, sexing, having babies, buying houses, and all kind of stuff. You be doing everything that a wife would do. That's what they mean. Then you give him everything that you have before he's made that kind of commitment to you. There's no additional benefit for him to get when you living with him, you fucking him, you having his kids, and you buying a house with him. What else is there? Why would he want to get married to you? Because he's already getting everything, all the benefits that you have to offer as a wife, and he's getting it without having the title of husband. That's what they mean. Now you feel like, you got to be nice and you got to do all this stuff. You don't have to do any of that. Think about the days when women lived with their parents and the dudes courted them. He would come over, he would go for walks, he would take them places, they go to the park, they go on picnics and this, all this kind of shit here. They didn't sleep with him. They was lucky if they got to hold hands and kiss. They got married if they wanted more from them women. Now, I'm not saying you got to do it like that, but I'm merely answering your question that you asked. Would you want to feel like you're going to cook and clean and do all this stuff and give him all the milk and from the cow and just do all this other stuff here, and then you think that that's going to motivate him to marry you? We see how many women that do all of those things, and does that work, especially in the Black community? You better think about this. More relationships people live together, be dating for years and decades and all kind of shit, and they don't get married. If you want to be married, then you conduct yourself like you have value, and that what he's going to invest in is you as his wife, not you as his girlfriend, not you as his business partner buying a property together, not you as his baby mama, not you as his pay half the bills person as a convenience for him. You have to think that you and all of those things that you offer, man, your emotional support, your emotional caretaking, your listening ear, you're worrying about his health, you're cuddling him and stuff. All of those things have value. And if you don't think so, and you think you got to trot him out because you got to audition his ass so he can pick you, well, then you just do you. Do you, and you just let me know how that works out for you. Question number 26. Oh my God, this looks long. Female, 22 to 27 from Washington, D.C. Male is 28 to 34. Summary of issue. How can I accept that I will always be the breadwinner in my relationship? I'm 27. My boyfriend is 31. Deb, I was raised in a super old school household like you were. My dad was the sole breadwinner. My mom was a stay-at-home mom who took care of the house entirely. Well, my mother did that up to a point, and then she went to nursing school, and that was that. And then she became a business owner of a very popular and financially beneficial daycare center. So not quite the same. My dad raised me in an environment where men take care of women. Also, I have to be honest, he kind of looked down on women too. He's born in 1946 and just has an old school brain, which I don't approve of. My older sister is 29. She's super shallow and always made men pay for everything. Dated rich guys and looked down on men who can't provide, etc. The combination of things has put a bias into me that I can't shake. I know it's a bias I was raised with. I have that awareness, but unraveling it is so hard for me. I make about 4 times what my boyfriend, 31, makes. We've been together for 5 years. At about the 1-year mark in our relationship, I surpassed his salary, and then it just kept rocketing past him financially. He's lost his job a few times, dealt with some mental health issues, and is finally getting back on track. He works a blue-collar service job and is now finally finding his way to a stable salary, but he will never be close to the breadwinner in our household. I love him dearly. He's my best friend, and he really respects and supports me. I know many folks will say that this is a tremendous quality in any partnership because it is. He's proud of my success, and he hypes me up. I've been paying for a lot of our relationship for the last 2 or 3 years. I bought all the nice new furniture for our townhome, pay over double in rent, pay for our vacations, groceries, date nights, etc. I get him lots of nice gifts for his birthdays and for Christmas. And I do it because I really love him and I want him to have the best life that he can. However, I cannot shake this bias I have. I sometimes feel less feminine because I am financially taking care of him. I can't shake this vision I have of my family growing up. The bullshit my sister has put into my brain all my life. It sparks fights in our relationship where he feels pressure to level up his financial stability and start supporting more equally on that front, which isn't great for his mental health and self-worth. I don't want to be like this. I would love to just be a team financially and not keep tabs. It's just hard when every friend I have is in a relationship has to be with men who take care of them. It's hard to not feel a little jealous seeing boyfriends take them on nice dates, financially support the household, etc. Or even relationships that are very financially equal and they are both bringing in tons of money and thriving as a power couple. I don't want to be with anyone else. I just want to shake the stupid bias that I have from my childhood and from society. It's stupid, I know. I guess I'm looking for some support from the women in the squad who may have been in the same situation, but who are happy and accepted. How can I change this mindset? Why can't you just change men? You know, you say, this is the thing that bothers me, what you said right here. He feels pressure to level up his financial stability and start supporting more equally on that front, which isn't great for his mental health and self-worth. Who gives a fuck? He's a man. He's supposed to be trying to make himself more financially stable. And so what? He gets a little stressed out. Why are you babying his ass? See, that right there. That's what I don't like. What you just said right there. You're protecting and coddling him when he needs to be kicking it for himself. He needs to be working 2 jobs then. He needs to be doing something, going back to school. He needs to be doing something so he makes more money. There's no reason why he's only 31 years old and he's feels like he's reached the pinnacle of his success and that he's topped out. You stop coddling his ass. And he says he feels pressure to say, yeah, you are pressure because you need to do something more than what you're doing. You can't stop here. I need a man who's going to be like a go-getter, who's trying to do more and be better. You keep just resting on your laurels and resting on your femininity. That ain't working for me. And we're going to have more and more fights until we break up. And it doesn't matter that he's human. You can still have him as a friend. That don't mean he got to be your man. The main thing is, you're trying to do away with this what you call bias. And I'm telling you, the way that you were raised, you're never going to respect him as your man. He could be a good friend. He could be your cheerleader. He could be all of those kind of things. But he does not have to be your man. And he definitely does not have to be your husband. He can just be a friend that you don't have to take care of because he's taking care of himself. Just think how much more money you would have and more what investments you could make and stuff you could get, like more houses for rental property or something, if you didn't have to take care of the grown man, paying for all these dates and stuff. He can't even contribute. I'm going to say you really need to rethink this relationship because as you get older and your income continues to climb and he's just not doing anything, you're going to lose respect for him. There's not a woman in this world that can respect a man that's not doing anything. He's just sitting still. While you continue to move, that means you're moving forward. You're moving him, leaving him behind. And just because, he's been your good friend and all this stuff, your support system at this point, that doesn't mean you're going to need that same thing from him in the future. It doesn't mean he's going to still be able to give it to you either. And I bet you if you were the one kicking down all that money, all this cheerleading and support and stuff that he's giving you wouldn't be there. He knows that's the way to keep your wallet open. Right? Yes, please. Yeah, keep your birth control game tighter. You're going to be all kinds of fucked up. But the bottom line here is you really need to rethink this. And I know you're trying to put it in a situation where you're thinking that it's, all about the money. It's not about the money. It's about the fact that you're a go-getter. You're a person who likes to achieve and has dreams and goes after what you want. And, is just pushing forward and trying to achieve more and be greater in life. He's not. So like I said, you're going to keep pushing forward and you're going to eventually he's going to be in your rearview mirror. The only thing that's keeping you there now is some kind of sense of loyalty to him. But you need to wake up. You're only in your 20s and you got plenty of time to find somebody else that's more on your level, mentally, morally, socially, that kind of stuff. Like, you get in some big time positions, they have corporate parties and stuff. What you going to do? How you going to bring him to the events? What's he going to talk about with them people? They're going to be looking at him like, why are you with him? You'll be embarrassed. So people have to think about these kind of things. It's not just, about who you love. You have to be a couple that fit together, that can make moves together. You can't move and shake like you need to with this guy. He's going to drag you down. But you don't see it yet, but you will. Yeah, she's so young, she still don't see it yet. But I'm telling you, like my brother, the one who's an attorney, he had a girl like that. Beautiful girl, but she was just stupid. And when I met her, I said, dude, I don't know, this is not going to work. He was working at a law firm. He was just an intern at that point. Or had he been hired yet? I don't remember. I think he was, he was just a junior, he was a new attorney. But he had interned at this firm for years, so they knew him. So he brings this girl to the law firm party. It was a fucking disaster. He called me and he was choking back tears. He was so upset. And the girl went to the party and there's this black lady that worked there that he, she kind of mentored him. She wasn't a attorney. She was one of the legal secretaries, but she had been there forever. She knew everything. She was teaching the new attorneys what to do. And so he was, she had mentored my brother, kind of helped him along. So of course he was, friendly with her and stuff. So the woman comes up to my brother and gives him a hug. Honey, my brother's girlfriend lost her mind in the party, cussed him out in front of all the partners' wives, all the other attorneys, I mean, the associate attorneys, the interns, everybody. She just went completely smooth, totally off. My brother was humiliated. And then he's like, "Oh my God, you told me to leave her alone." I said, "Dude, I'm your sister. He's the one younger than me." And I'm like, "I told you that something was wrong with her and not to deal with her. She's not at your level. She's like a basket case." But he was all mesmerized because she was cute. She was cute, nice little body and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, he weathered the storm and everything. But he was so done. He was like done. And I said, if you had to listen to your sister, you wouldn't have been in that situation. Another time he met this other girl. This is another story. We was out in DC, and I met this girl. She was trying to get with him. He was kind of kicking it with her. And he said, "I want you to meet her first." I said, "Okay." So I meet the girl, and then we go out shopping and to lunch and stuff. And you know what she did? And so, okay, so we walking in the mall, and she ran into these other girls. She puts this big fake smile on her face, and she's talking and everything and laughing with them and everything. And then she's like, "Oh yeah, girl, we got to get together, do lunch, this and that." So it looks so real, right? Soon as them girls left, she turned right around and said to me with her complete, like a transformation, like instantaneous, and said, "I can't stand that bitch, this and that, blah, blah, blah." And I looked at her and I'm like, okay, she's something going on with her. I mean, people who put on that false face like that, you can't trust them. So, I mean, I would have rather her just said, "Oh, hey, yeah, this is my boy's sister, this and that. We're busy right now. I'll talk to you guys later." That's rude to sit there and talk to you. She could have got out of it in some other kind of way like that and wouldn't have triggered my warning bell. But to go through all that production and act all nice and sweet and cheery and friendly, and then turn around saying, "I can't stand that bitch with this mean mug on her face," I was like, "What the fuck is this?" Honey, I couldn't wait till we got back to the house. I told you, drop me off. I broke speed records getting up in that house to tell my brother, "Don't fuck with her." And I told him what happened. He was like, "No, that didn't." I said, "Robert, I'm telling you, that's what just happened. I just saw it. You better leave her alone, because she ain't nobody to be trusted." That time he listened. I'm telling you that hood, the hood come out. You can read people, but I mean that was so blatant. I mean anybody could have seen that. But the other girl, the little cute girl, I don't know. She just had some weird energy, and I was thinking, something ain't right about this girl. I don't think you should be really getting too involved with her. I mean, she might be one of them hit it and quit it because she was cute, but don't be thinking you're gonna have a relationship because she cray cray. And so he didn't listen, and that went south real bad. So this time when this other thing happened, he listened and he let her go. He let her alone. Say, well, she was just trying to get with me, and I'm like, he didn't want to do it. I'm like, good, leave her ass alone. And then the one girl that I really liked, she didn't like him because she said he was too much of a playboy. And I was like, dang, I want her to be my sister-in-law. I loved her. She was an RN, sweetest thing. When I would go to DC, she would pick me up and we would hang out and stuff. I just loved her to death. I thought she was the best. But he was like, well, she don't want me. I'm like, you, just like, that's like, you the same with your brother? Yeah, my oldest brother, I don't care what they do. This is my baby brother. So, I'll be protective of him. I'm like, you cows better leave my brother alone. I don't have to beat somebody's ass. But yeah. So anyway, enough reminiscing about the past. That was fun though. Let us see what we got coming up. Oh, we don't have anything coming up. What we do have coming up is another What the Fuck Tuesday next week. I may be able to squeeze something in on the weekend now that I'm feeling better. We'll see. I'm not coughing as much, but I can still feel, a little choked up here. But I'll see how I feel. At some point, we're still going to do this show here as soon as I get myself together. Because this is something I think that we definitely need to do, to talk about, especially those of you with younger sisters, daughters, nieces, granddaughters and stuff. We got to get to these little girls before they be right to this column with this kind of BS that we keep hearing. That's just not fun. I just don't like it. I don't like it at all. So thanks you guys for coming, and enjoy yourself. Enjoy your rest of the week. And I will see you either on Sunday or next Tuesday. It will be one or possibly both. Okay. See you later.